Hey everybody, this is Cindy the Paint Diva with another episode of Paint the Town. Today you'll see I'm standing in front of Elefante's music studio and Zita's ice cream. It's all owned by the Elefante family. And since Christmas is coming soon, we're also going to talk about the Christmas trees that they'll have for sale. It's all run by the Elefante family. So let's go on in and meet them. Okay, here we are inside Elefante's. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hi, Cindy. Welcome to Elefante Music and School for the Performing Arts.
So tell me a little bit about the room that we're in right now. What am I looking at?
Okay, so this is our retail area. So this is where you come if you want to sign up for lessons for the first time, if you want to rent an instrument, if you want to buy sheet music or any kind of accessories, drop off your instrument to be repaired. This is our welcoming area, and this is also where you come if you're going to come to a lesson. We have different lesson rooms, but you start here and go from here.
Okay, so why don't you show me some of the lesson rooms?
Yeah, okay.
I know, so years ago I was here and I helped you pick all your paint colors for the rooms, but it's been a while. I think they've been repainted. But
you did, and I will show you where some of your paint colors still are. So here on our...
And what's going on in here? He's repairing instruments in there.
Oh yeah, so this is Al's office, but he also has a repair shop in here. He also teaches his lessons in here. He's not in here right now, but this is it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But everything's done in-house here.
Yes, absolutely. We also have a separate repair shop, but it's owned by us and run by us, but it's just a lot larger, so we can't have it here in this location. This is your purple wall for Brook Healey Foundation, so we've still kept that. That's one of the ones that you had picked out.
So I decided music is fun, and these rooms should be fun, yet tasteful. So you'll see a lot of gray, but then I decided to do an accent wall in each of the different music rooms and give each one their own personality. So we went with some pretty wild, fun colors. I drew my inspiration from instruments. There was an album cover sitting in one of the rooms, a set of drums. Because why not? Because there's kids in here and kids love color. So I decided to have fun with color.
Have a piano lesson room. We have several of these lesson rooms all around the building, and I'm going to show you our recital room downstairs.
Oh, awesome.
Okay. Okay, this is our recital room. So this is where our teachers hold all of their recitals. We also do regular performing arts classes in here. So all like theater classes, acting, dancing, singing types of things. So this room actually gets a lot of use, and yeah, so that's that.
Yeah.
Okay, so back here is all the rest of our lesson rooms. We teach every instrument. We have drums and keyboard and voice and all the band and orchestral instruments. So there's several of those back here.
Okay, great. So let's go meet everybody else.
All right, sounds good.
So I'm here today with the Elefante family from Elefante Music School and Zita's and many other things. Okay, so let's start with Al. Al, you're the dad here in the bunch, and you started everything. So let's back up a little bit. So let's talk about, you were a music teacher before you owned the music school, correct?
No. I was a musician.
Oh, you were?
I was just out playing gigs. So,
oh, okay.
And I did that till I was, I guess, about 50 years old. And then I saw a need for me to not do that as much, because I was out like doing it 6 nights a week. It was hard. It was hard on the family. Right. So I started teaching in this building when it was an old, decrepit building. and I rented it from the people across the street who owned a gas station, the Kerns.
Oh, right. That
Yeah.
caught on fire. I remember that day.
Yeah, well, we were already here when that happened. But, so we kind of knocked that building down, myself and my brother, who's Pete's father, and we built this building, and we've been here working ever since.
So that was about 1995, you think?
96, I think.
About 96? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then, so it started up here. We're upstairs now where you have the music lessons. I'm going to have Michelle give us a tour later. So that's how it started. You started with the giving lessons, correct?
We started giving lessons, just me giving
Mhm.
lessons, and then we slowly but surely kept adding teachers.
Right.
So we're up to quite a few now.
Right. And then downstairs we have lessons. We've got dance and performing arts and things
Yeah,
like that
well,
going
actually,
on.
it started as a restaurant next to Zita's, and I guess I'm not a great restaurateur. So it was hard, though, because I was up here doing the music business,
Mhm.
and every half hour I'm running down the stairs trying to get the restaurant, and it just became too hard on me.
Right.
So we closed it.
Right.
And it was a good decision. And now that's become a performing arts space
Right.
along the downstairs, along with Zita's ice cream.
Okay. So we're talking about Zita. So let's talk to Pete. So Pete, what relation are you to Al?
He's my uncle.
Your uncle. Okay. But you run Zita's, correct?
I do.
Okay. So Zita's has been around since what, 2000?
Yeah, about 2000.
Okay. And who's Zita? Who is Zita? The
Zita-
name?
Zita's my grandmother.
Your
My mother.
Your mother.
Yeah.
By the
Okay.
way, I'm your favorite uncle.
Yeah.
So
There's
why
also
ice
a
cream?
9-year-old named Zita now
Yes.
too, my daughter. But
Yes.
that wasn't who we named the ice cream store
Right.
after.
Right. Right. And why ice cream?
Well, we had a frozen yogurt store
Oh,
one
God.
time out in Edison,
Okay.
and it was an absolute dismal failure. I mean, we worked so hard at it. In fact, one time Stephanie worked the hardest, even harder than I did, and she was there one
I
day.
was 14.
Yeah, and she looked at
FYI.
me. One day she looked at me. She comes out of the kitchen. She goes, "Dad, I'm going to pass out," and she passed out in my.
Oh, she really did.
She passed out in my arms. Yeah. So I felt terrible for about 5 minutes, and then I sat her down, and she went back to work. But yeah, it was we spent our holidays there. There was a Wawa's across the street. We'd grab a sandwich, and we spent
Bad
Thanksgiving.
memories.
Yeah. So we learned, but you have to take everything in life and learn something. We learned how to run an ice cream store. We learned what not to do.
Right.
So we opened this one up, and at that point we knew what to do,
Right.
and it's worked out.
Yeah. And I think my daughters were two of your first employees.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, because yeah. And I remember you used to come knock on the door
Yeah, I
when
was
you
gonna
needed
say,
somebody to come make
That was
cakes.
before cell phones. And I would just come
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, knock on the door,
you're
and
like,
my girl
oh.
like run and hide in the basement.
Pete's here.
Yeah,
I'll be over in 10 minutes. And
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
you got 5.
And they would come over. Yes. Well,
They
the
were
yes.
great workers. So.
The benefit for us was free ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And now it's almost Thanksgiving next week, so we're coming up on Christmas tree season,
Christmas tree season's on its way.
right? And
So-
you're in charge of that
Oh,
also,
yeah.
yeah?
So we started selling Christmas trees in '99, the year before the ice cream store opened,
Oh, okay.
and that space we used as,
Oh.
where we had the register and stuff like that.
And the crafts.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
it was tough. We've been selling Christmas trees longer than we've been selling ice cream.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good business.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a tough season.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of work. Well, you cram a lot into a
We
short
cram a
amount
lot
of time.
into a short period of time, and then it's over.
Right.
We take a break, and then
Right.
open the ice cream store back up in February.
Right. But you keep Zita's open though during Christmas tree time.
During
no?
Christmas tree time, Zita's is open.
Yeah.
We set up a fire pit outside. People roast s'mores on the weekend and stuff like that. It's fun.
Oh,
And then-
nice.
Yeah,
Have
like
you
you're
been
never
there?
here. And then we'll shut down, clean up everything, and then put it all back together and get ready to open up.
And then you open up in the spring.
Yeah, well, February.
Oh, February.
Yeah.
Oh, so you really only close like a month.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, about a
I
month.
have a really quick story about
Okay.
that. I was studying in London in 1999, I guess, and your dad was there I guess, visiting one of his businesses, and he took me out to lunch, and he was like, well, we're thinking of opening an ice cream store. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, who do you think will run it? And he's like, we were thinking you about it. And I was like, oh, okay. But that's how my uncle is. Like, he'll just get anyone to do any kind of work.
Anything.
And so I flew back home. I show up. They're selling Christmas trees for the first time. There's that little store where everyone's making wreaths and ornaments and all that. And it was really fun. And then that was the spring that we opened Zita's. And I ran it initially just for a few months, but Peter's been doing it ever since.
Yes, because that's what I thought. I thought I remember your name associated with it originally. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But then he took over and then you
But
came up here.
that's how it started, from
Got
that
it.
one idea. I remember walking through London with him and him telling me that I was going to be opening an
Not
ice cream
asking.
store.
No. Yeah, just telling. Exactly. So now what do you do up here? You run the music school or no?
Yeah. So, me personally, or all of us? Like, what
No,
do we
you
do?
personally.
So,
What's your role here?
well, that's a great question. So, the three of us are co-owners. So we're basically running everything.
Mhm.
So we have our lessons and performing arts department. We have our rentals, which is really big because we're renting instruments to schools around the area. And then we have our repair shop. Stephanie actually, her office is run out of our warehouse, which is where our repair shop is. I'm here in New Providence.
Okay. Oh, so you run the repair shop?
I am in that location.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not the direct manager of that repair shop,
Mhm.
but I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you do? What
Like
is your
Michelle
role?
said,
You're just all part owners and you
we're
all
part
just-
owners, and we make sure that each of those departments are running as smoothly as they can.
Right. Okay. Let's hand her the mic. So let's talk about Brook Healey Foundation.
Okay.
Okay. So this is for people that are newer in the area. The whole reason that I do these interviews is so that you get to know the owners of the businesses. But Brook Healey Foundation is a big part of New Providence. And if you go into a restaurant, you might have seen the coasters. and you may have wondered, who is Brook Healey? This is Brook's mom. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Brook and about the foundation?
Sure. Thank you, Cindy. My husband, Steve, and I had a daughter, Brooke, and she was diagnosed at the age of 4 in 2013 with a rare fatal brain tumor called a DIPG. And she passed away 9 months later. During that time, our family and friends, it's been 10 years. But
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I know because I'm in the same boat. People ask you and you just try to plow through and talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know what you were doing here today, so
Yeah, I know you were prepared.
So our family and friends rallied around us during that time, and the momentum from that started the foundation. So for the past 10 years, we've been raising money for research, helping families, and some scholarships that we distribute to some local schools. We do some events. We've grown tremendously in 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's really been a
You're
great
like my
thing.
idol.
Oh, jeez.
Like, let me follow what they do because I have no idea what I'm
Well,
doing.
don't follow me, but
No.
follow the people who
Mhm.
surround me. I think
Right.
is
And I
what
will
I'd
say, Cindy did volunteer at our golf outing
Yes.
last month, which was really
Yes,
awesome.
and I did the casino night last year too.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah,
You did the
I
big
did.
wheel, right?
But also, I don't know if you know that when I did the mural in downtown in New Providence around the back, she wanted wings so people could take selfies, and I did the wings, and I did 2 little purple butterflies for
Oh,
Brooke.
thank you,
Yeah.
Cindy.
Because I didn't even I did the butterfly wings, and then my friend Lisa, that's part of your committee and everything, she says, you do realize that the butterfly is like Brook Healey logo. I was like, oh my God, you're right. I'm like, I have to include this. So I did because I was focusing on autism, on the
sure.
thing, but then I was like, but it was right around the time of your golf outing too, and I was like, I gotta
Thank
give a
you.
little
Thank you.
Just
nod to
in
Brooke, too.
case anybody's wondering, should I contribute to that? Yeah, you should. And one of the reasons is there's no administration of fees coming out of there or anything. It all goes to worthwhile things that they can read about. But it's a really great organization. I'm on the board as a what am I now?
Honorary board.
Honorary board.
That means you don't do anything.
Your name's there.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
What I've done is aged out.
Yeah.
but I'm still, I still love the organization, and I give them a lot of credit for what they do. But there's no administrative costs or anything like that. It's all straight going to worthwhile things. So if anybody wants to contribute to a charity, this is really a good one.
Well, also, it's interesting, we're talking about New Providence and New Providence businesses. And although New Providence has changed over, say, the past 20 years somewhat, it's still such a special town. Like just the fact that you mentioned that what you did on the mural, things like that happen to us and to others all the time. And it's really a special place. And, I'm so happy that you're doing this series so that others can learn and we keep that community as it is.
Yeah, and that's it's one of the nice things about living in a small town, and sometimes it can be
Well,
people know a little too much,
Everybody knows your business.
Yeah. But what I've found is that new people coming in, they don't really know who the owners are, and they maybe don't go into a lot of the businesses. So that's why I wanted to do the series and introduce them, because they probably don't know who that you guys are all related.
Well,
and they probably don't know the whole background. So yeah,
it's important that people support the local businesses.
Yes, absolutely.
Because there's such a residual effects to this that people don't understand. Like, we want nice communities, we want the downtown areas or the commercial buildings to look good. They can't look good if the retailers can't make enough money to pay fair market rent,
right?
And then the landlords can't fix up the building. It just keeps going on and on.
Right.
So when you think you may be saving a few bucks by going to either a big box store or going online, you're not saving anything.
Right.
Because if you're not contributing to the community itself, you gain a lot more. Even if you want to look at it pragmatically, like property values and things like that. Say, well, I care about the value of my property. It all goes hand in hand with supporting the community.
Right.
There's also another benefit to patronizing a local store. If you ever need any comic relief, can you imagine working with your father, your sister, your cousin, your mom for 25 years? It's great. So if you ever need a laugh, come on in.
One of the things about the community is that is the concert series. I know that you always are in charge of picking the bands for that. And Michelle, you're what's the name of the business organization that?
New Providence Business Community.
Right.
Yes. So summer concerts is one of the events that we put on every year, and we actually have the holiday walk coming up. And speaking of being in this town, it's so funny because every year the high school marching band participates, and this year they're inviting alumni to march with them.
Oh,
are you marching?
No, but I reached out because
You?
Mr. N is the still the marching band director, and he was when I was in high school.
Yeah,
so
he's
it's
great.
he's so wonderful. And it was just so funny because I'm like helping to organize the event, and at the same time he's like, are you gonna march with us? So it's just, that's what the kinds of things that I love about this town.
Yeah, Mr. N. Mr. N is great. So my son David, he was born in '96, so it was right around the time you guys started this business, and I went along on a field trip with my girls, and David was in kindergarten, and Mr. Nijenko was leading that trip, so I kind of met him there. But in the mural, I did the New Providence High School, and on the sign in the front, I asked people, I said, what should I write on here? And a few people said, you should do Pride in Class for the band. And I was like, got it.
I saw that, and
Yeah.
I was happy to see that for sure.
Yeah. All right. So we just sort of brought everything all full circle.
Yes.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Marching band and music and everything.
I
All right,
know.
guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me today for our little interview. And I hope everybody enjoyed getting to know some of the business owners here in town.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
Should we give her a round of applause?
All right. Awesome.